Right, hope everybody's having a good Father's Day weekend. I'm going to go into some more detail on my little experiment sitting spot here. One of the last videos I put up is of me coming out here at night, sitting down right here, and then doing a wood knock. And then about 6 or 8 minutes later, I start having activity. I get a throw over here, a throw over here. Something runs up. There's walking, there's breaks, and then there's the vocalizations. They make this clicking sound to one another. It's like a click chirp. Now, you can't see anything because I'm using a GoPro and my phone, right? But you can hear everything that's going on. I have recorded that activity 5 different times now since October of last year. And how that started was back in October. I crossed the creek down there, and I went up that way, and I walked up on another hill, and I left something up there, and I made my way back. And right when I got across the creek, there was I can't remember if it was a break or a wood knock back behind me, back uphill. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna hang out for a little bit. So I came and sat right up here where we're at now. And then that was the first night that I started getting throws, really close throws, rocks, rock clacking, all kinds of stuff. And I've been able to repeat that, like I said, 5 different times. Now, one of the questions that's come up, or one of the themes, I even talk a little bit about it in the last video, the last time this happened, is the fact that you can't see what's going on. And there have been people that say, hey, you really need to think about investing in night vision, or how come you're not trying to record them? Basically saying I need to try to get what's going on video. And people are 100% right. For those of you that know me or have been following the channel for a while, you probably know where I'm going with this. Number one of the guys that talked about me recording at night straight up told me that he came across my video because it was just suggested to him. It's the first video of mine he's ever watched. There's no way in the world that he's going to know the history of the 7 years that I've had activity and the 5.5 years of doing research, okay? There's no way he knows that. So it's to be expected. If you've joined within just the past year, you probably don't know 90% of the things that, the different pieces of evidence that I've recorded over the years, or that we've gotten as a group. You know, and it's kind of my job to go back. I've got a bad habit of getting a piece of evidence, putting it out, and then moving on. So when you get new people on the channel, they don't really know what's going on, you know. So I should probably think about going back over a lot of the evidence that we've gotten over. We've had a channel for over 3 years now. Maybe recycling some of that stuff, you know. But over the past 5 years, I've purchased 5 thermal devices, 5 different ones. I've purchased 4 different night vision devices. I currently have 3 thermals and 2 night vision devices. So what you have seen, the videos that I have put out, the GoPro video or the phone video where you don't see anything, those are just the times that I've been successful. What you have not seen is the 25 other times that I was not successful. around about 25. I think it's probably 30 to 35 times that I've conducted this experiment the same way. The difference is, a lot of those times I take a thermal camera with me. And I've done all kinds of stuff. I've attached it to my front. I've attached it to my back. I've attached it to a PTZ mount on a backpack where I can control it with a remote. I've walked around with a thermal just in my hand. I've used my night vision phone. I have attempted to catch this activity on video several times. So it's not from me, a lack of trying at all. I can assure you of that. But I don't show my failures, I don't put up a lot of videos of just me walking around with nothing happening. I know some people might enjoy seeing more of that. If you do, I can do that. I mean, I record anyway, so I can put that up. But I try to just stick to the actual evidence itself. So I have definitely made an attempt to do that, which it's very interesting that I've done it this many times. And the 5 times that I've been successful, I have not had a thermal camera or a night vision recording device on me. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they just don't like the fact I've got different stuff on me. I mean, 99% of the stuff I've gotten over the years has been with a cell phone. So they see me with a cell phone all the time. The GoPro on my head, it does not put off any other light. There's a blue light and a red light, and I have those covered with tape. When it's recording, the screen isn't on, so it doesn't show any light. And then when I'm recording on my phone, I don't use the flash or the light. So there's no light coming off of that. Maybe they can kind of get intent. I don't know why I haven't been able to successfully record them. And it's not even that. They won't even react when I bring that equipment out there with me. The very last time that I got something last year, I actually modified a 5-gallon bucket and made it to where I could put 3 different thermal cameras in that bucket facing different directions. I brought it out there with me. I put it out in front of me. I waited. Nothing happened. I moved the bucket, and the plan was to leave for about an hour and then come back. As I'm walking away from the bucket, I get 25 yards away. What sounds like a rock hits very close to the bucket. I had an audio recorder in there, and it does sound like there's movement around the perimeter. Now, the cameras didn't pick up anything. It's not very unusual because what I didn't take into account is the slope that it was on, and the fact that one is 4.5 magnification, one has no magnification, and then you've got to have it in the exact right angle, all these things. So that's something that, I'd have to work on, but it didn't capture anything. So it's not from lack of trying. And there's definitely, then again, it literally may just be statistical odds. It may literally just be that it just so happens that the 5 times that they've interacted, thrown things, broke things, when I'm in that particular spot, is because they were out there. And the other 25 times, they just weren't out there. There's no way I can know why they interact or don't interact. I've got a pretty good idea. I think they're smart enough to tell intent. I think they can recognize when I'm carrying something different or new. So anyway, I just kind of want to explain that in detail. But just because it hasn't happened yet, for those of you, like I said, if you've joined within the past year, you haven't seen a lot of the evidence we have. I think I've got about 5 different thermal videos of what I believe to be Sasquatch. 2 of them are pretty dadgum convincing. The other 3, you can just tell by like the size and the movement and the way it acts. They're not great. but I have been fairly successful with getting evidence with the thermals. So hopefully, eventually, what I'm working on now is just try to, I mean, you have no idea how important it is that I can actually in a position to establish a pattern where I can go out there and just sit or do a wood knock, and then 5 to 8 minutes later they start interacting. I've never been able to do anything like that around here. It's always been they just show up and do something, and I just got to be ready, you know. There's been very few times that I've been able to do something to get them to respond in return, and with that happening, that's extremely important, you know. But and along the same lines, I'm going to post 2 videos with this. Both are pretty short, but one is my wife and I had a conversation about something that she found out that was very weird. It was getting to the point where she was going out into the chicken coop at night, and as she's walking away, she said every other night just about something was being thrown behind her. And this happened quite a few times before she really, you know, brought it to my attention. I think she thought it would quit, but it did not quit. So I asked her, hey, will you please record when you go out there from here on out? And you'll see that she's actually noticed a change since she started recording. Now, she didn't want to be on video. You'll just hear her talking. Another thing, the other night, I did the experiment again. And it was, I took the night vision phone with me. And I also brought my parabolic out there with me to set up behind me. Here, let me show you. All right, you recognize this. This is the little PlayStation area where I've been leaving things, and we finally got some activity the other day here. But anyway, I walked out here, and before I went in the woods, I placed a parabolic right here. And I had it set up going, facing out there. And then my spot is down there, and I went and sat out there, and I had the night vision phone on me. I was probably out there for 20 minutes. Not one thing happened. I get done, I start walking back up this way. I make my way back here. I put the night vision phone up in my back pocket. I pick up the parabolic. I put the headphones on my head, and then I pick up the parabolic itself. And then I'm starting to get the actual recorder out with my other hand. And as I'm standing there, I start to hear what sounds like movement coming from where I just came from, somewhere in that direction. I stop moving around, and then I hear what sounds like 2 very obvious breaks, probably around where those big pine trees are, right there, is about how close that was. Now, it's extremely frustrating and very odd that the only thing that was different is that I've got that night vision phone. Now, that night vision phone has a IR light on it. And the light itself is red. Now, I don't necessarily think that they see infrared. Like I said, just about all the activity I've ever caught has been on my cell phone. And if you have an iPhone, it's shooting IR lasers out of it at all time, especially when you're recording. So I'm not necessarily convinced that's it, but it does have a red light on it. So maybe that's what it is. But it's just super weird and very frustrating that nothing happened out there, and then I get back here and I put the phone up, and what I'm trying to figure out is where I'm going to put the parabolic, because I wanted to leave it out here, and I did leave it out here. I actually need to listen to all that. And then that happens. Now, I don't 100% know if it was them or not. I can't imagine that another animal was following me. I just came through here with light, and I was loud, and it only a minute and a half had passed since I got back here, and I still had the chem light with me too. all I know to tell you is I heard what sounded like steps and then two very obvious breaks. So if it was them, I don't know. But, you know, stuff like this happens all the time. It's weird. And I'm not personally convinced that there's anything supernatural or paranormal or spiritual about these creatures. I have not experienced anything that can prove that to me yet. What I have witnessed and what I have experienced are things that they do that it makes perfect sense how it appears like they are spiritual or paranormal, because of how intelligent they are, how careful they are, how they're able to move on all fours and stay really low to the ground, how they're able to like be super loud when they want or get up real close and not make any noise, you know. But when this kind of stuff happens, especially like you'll see in a minute what my wife's talking about, you know, it's hard not to think, well, maybe there's something to it. I don't think it is. I think a lot of it is just odds. I think we overestimate our own abilities and we underestimate their abilities. But that does not mean that I'm not open to being wrong. I just have to see something to prove me wrong, you know. Evidence is evidence, you know. But that's pretty much my spiel. I will show you guys what my wife talked about, and then the video from right here when I'm holding the parabolic after I got done doing my little experiment. But I will talk to y'all later. Have a good one. All right, so my wife doesn't want to be on video. She's ready for bed. But tell me what you were saying about going out to the chicken coop.
It was weird that anytime I was recording, nothing happened.
What do you mean by that?
You told me to record, so I record, but nothing ever happens when I'm recording. Just thought it was weird.
Are you doing anything different?
Nope. I'm still using the same flashlight on my phone.
So before you were using the flashlight on your phone, and now you're recording
with the light.
With the light, which looks exactly the same way.
Yes.
But when you do that, nothing happens.
Right.
All right. Thank you. All right, so the first video that you're about to see is the video of me walking back from sitting in that spot, the testing ground. It's the very end of the video. I come walking up, I go past the parabolic, and as I'm going past, I start thinking, well, maybe I should move it somewhere else. Because what I really wanted, I wanted it in a position to where they could get as close as they wanted and still have like shrubs and trees and stuff to hide behind. So that's what I wound up doing. I wound up moving it further back, so there was woods in between it and them if they approached. So you'll see me go by it, turn around, come back, and then I turn the video off and I put the phone in my pocket, and then I reach down, I get the parabolic, and then the next video is from the GoPro, where you can actually hear what sounds like the creeping around, and then there's two very obvious breaks. So, I'm listening with the parabolic right now, and I just heard something follow me back, and then crack. I just heard something follow me back. And then crack.